My daughter's going to finish elementary school with about $150,000. I'm going to tell you how you can set up your kids as well. Canadian parents can open up an RESP, standing for Registered Education Savings Plan. It can be open for 36 years and it's tax sheltered. There's three components: the money you put in, the money the government puts in, and then the growth of the investment in this vehicle. Again, the RESP is just a container. You put money in and then you invest it, and then it grows. The asset allocation has been adjusted downward. It used to be 90% equity. Now it's 65% equity, 35% cash and cash equivalent, in anticipation of potential post-secondary costs in less than 5 years. What happens if your kid doesn't want to go to post-secondary education? I'll talk about that in a little bit. The three components again are your money, government money, and the growth of the investment. The parent or the grandparent can contribute, and they're known as the subscriber. So the subscriber can kick in up to $50,000 lifetime per child. The government kicks in $500 for every $2,500 from the subscriber. Let's say the child is born, you put in $2,500, the government will kick in $500. If the baby is born and you kick in $3,000, doesn't matter, the government only kicks in $500. Third scenario, the parents kick in all $50,000, maxing out their contribution in the first year. Government doesn't care, they kick in $500. So what parents tend to do is, in order to maximize the government grant, they put in $2,500 per year, making sure they get the $500 each and every year. The government portion maxes out at $7,200. So the government kicks in $500, $500, $500 until it hits $7,200. What happens if the child does not want to go to post-secondary? The subscriber can withdraw the $50,000 contribution that they made with no tax consequences. The government will take back their $7,200 in grants. This is called the Canadian Education Savings Grant. The remainder, if there is growth in the account, that can be put back into the subscriber's RRSP and be tax sheltered. So when you set this up and you contribute some money, the government will kick in some money. It grows. If the kid uses it for university, no problem. If it doesn't, it's kicked back to each of the owners. I mentioned earlier that most parents kick in $2,500 in order to get the $500 from the government every year, but that's not the most efficient way if you understand the time value of money, and this is a concept of money that most people don't understand. Money, when you invest it, has a lot of power when it's invested early. I always talk about investing as soon as you become an adult, because that is how you get the most growth. So this is what we did. As soon as the child is born, that is when you want to maximize the contribution. You give it the most possible time to grow before potential post-secondary education costs. So there's two ways to do this. You can max out your contribution, $50,000, year zero, you get the $500 from the government, that's all you get, you grow it until the child goes to university. Or you figure out a certain number where you maximize the amount you put in, but you still qualify for all the $500 payments up until $7,200. And last but not least, you just contribute $2,500 a year. You don't care about maximizing. You get the $500 from the government till it maxes out at $7,200, and then you're done. The first and the second are called front loading. We did the second one, and I'll go over that right now. Before that, remember, we opened up the RESP as a self-directed brokerage account, otherwise known as a margin account. It's not managed by anyone else except for us. It's not a group RESP. There's no third party managing it. It's all us. That is how we keep the fees at an absolute minimum. Okay, what does front loading look like? In the birth year, we put in $14,000 lump sum contribution, plus the $2,500 birth year contribution to get the $500 Canadian Education Savings Grant from the government. Total contribution in the birth year, $16,500. For the next 13 years, you just contribute regularly $2,500, bagging the $500 from the government every year. In the 14th year, you've already contributed $49,000. You put in the last $1,000. The government kicks in their last $200. The total contribution from the subscribers is $16,500 in the first year, plus 13 times $2,500 over the next decade and a bit, and then the last $1,000. That's $50,000 total, your max contribution allowable. The max contribution from the government is $500 for 14 years, and in the last year, they kick in $200, $7,200 total. As elementary school comes to an end, you've kicked in around $49,000. The government has kicked in around $7,000, $56,000 total. The remainder, all the way up until $145,000, is the growth of the account. The RESP is one of the most effective ways to build an education fund for your child. Again, if your kid doesn't want to go to university, the government takes their money back, you get your money back, no taxes, and then the remainder can be put into your RSP. Learn the lessons about money that your friends and family just don't know. Download my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.